Can I just say, it feels rather surreal, a bit daunting actually, because for the past 2 or so years, I've had to wait patiently and silently at the sides. And today I get to stand at the mic. So please bear with me. I've got 2 years worth of kōrero. Ahoy anō, e te tuahine reikura tēnā koe, me tō whakahaere i tā tātou hui i tēnei ahiahi. Ngāti whātua o rākei, te mana whenua, te haukāinga, te pai tapu. Koutou katoa rā, tai atu rā ki a koe, te tuakana renata, tēnā koutou. E te kaiurungi o te Pāti Māori e tuku tēnā koe. Me ki koutou katoa ko ngā prehitini o mua, ko Pem, ko Neira, ko Matua Whatarangi, ka mihi rā ki a koutou. Kahurangi tāriana, tāpita, ko kōrua, e whakakanohi nei i ngā wawata o ngā mātua tīpuna. Tēnā kōrua, he koanga ngākau, kua tai mai kōrua i tēnei rā. Tai atu anō hoki ki a koe e rangi, te kaitono ōmua, mō tēnei rohe o Tāmaki Makaurau, te kanohi kitea, te toa o Tāmaki ki te tonga, nei rā hau kāmihi. Kei ngā mana nui o ngā mautere. Kia orana, whakalofa lahi atu. Taloha ni, maloe lelei, talofa lava, pula vinaka. Tēnā koutou katoa. E tika ana ki a mahitahi tātou. Ke panuku ai o tātou wawata, o tātou moemoea. Me ki tēnei pāti i hari te mea mo te Māori anake i Aotearoa nei, engari mo ngā Māori katoa o te moana nui ākiwa. Nō reira, ka mihi rā ki a koutou. Whaia Nelly, me ki tō tātou kuia o tēnei rohe o Tāmaki Makaurau, ka nui rā te mihi. Nā oku mātua tīpuna hau i whakatipu, nā reira, ka kimi au i ngā wā katoa, i etahi kuia, i etahi koraua, hei whakaruru hau mōku. Ko koe tēnā, ko koe tētahi o wera, ka mihi atu rā ki a koe, ko eke nei, ki te iwa te kau o ngā tau i ngā wiki tata nei, tēnā koe, tēnā koe. Rāhui, aha kua kāre anō, kia tere tō waka, me ki au, ko te mema e haere ake nei, mo hauraki waikato, ka nui rā taku mihi ki a koe. Tai atu rā ki a koe, te ururoa. Ko tāua tēnā no roto mai ngā tau, tainoa mai ki e nei tau tata nei. Ka nui te mihi ki a koe, nā hau rā te tatau o te Pāti Māori, i whakatuwhera ki au. He honore nui ki te mahi i tō taha, mo te paenga o te iwi, mo te oranga o te tangata, e kore rā aku mihi e mutu ki a koe. Me whai whakaroa no hoki ki a mārama, e kohi moni nei mo tana kaupapa i ka rua rāwhiti, aha kua kāri i ko nei, ka nui rā taku mihi ki aia. Arātua no ngā mihi ka whai mai, engari ko te mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. Koutou i haramai i tawhiti, koutou i haramai i tata. Koutou katoa rā, no roto mai i ngā rohe o te Pāti Māori, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou katoa. Can I just offer my thoughts and prayers to Matua Grant and to the whānau? I know if he was well, he would be here. Nō reira e koro, kia piki te kaha me te ora ki a koe. Whaia Margaret, thank you to you and the whānau of Ōrākei of Takaparawhau for inviting us to be here today. I also want to acknowledge the ringawera, Miro, tēnā koutou. You're awesome. Absolutely. Tēnā koutou katoa. You know, it is an honour to be here today because Takaparawhau is a significant place. It has huge significance to us as Māori, ki ngā mautere, but also to our country. It's right that we launch our Tāmaki Makaurau campaign right here because of the story of Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei. In 1840, Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei were major landowners here in Tāmaki Makaurau. A little over 100 years later, they were virtually landless. Successive governments, Labour and National, confiscated their land, evicted whānau from their homes, and used the whenua for their own purposes. In 1976, the government proposed selling parts of Takaparawhau. Actually, they wanted to build some houses. The irony. This sparked a 506-day protest, and Papa Joe, I do want to mihi to you. Tēnā rawa atu koe, tēnā koe. And you know what? Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei has emerged from those turbulent times to again be a strong and resilient people and one of our most successful commercial entities in our country. Ngāti Whātua's history is shared by all of us. The experiences may be different, the stories may be too, but we do share one thing in common. We have suffered as a result of policies brought about by Labour and National governments over many years, and it's only when we've had the courage to stand together and unite, Māori, Wananui Ākiwa, when we've had faith in ourselves to know what's best for us and to do what's best for us, that we've actually made progress as a people. Mā tātou anō, kaua mā tētahi atu. Yet while Labour and National have much to be responsible for, we must be prepared to work with one of them to protect and advance the interests and rights of Māori. The Māori Party has shown over the past 9 years that it can work constructively and in good faith with the government of the day in the best interests of all New Zealanders. Over the past 3 years, much has been achieved. And I'd like to again acknowledge our party co-leaders, Marama and Te Ururoa, and the Māori Party team in and out of Parliament. We work tirelessly and relentlessly every day to make a difference in the lives of our people. We don't need to look very far to see the fruits of our hard work. And Minister, after your $12 million announcement earlier this week, your $122 million grew to $134 million. Budget gains that the Māori Party have secured in Budget 17. $405 million for kaupapa Māori in the last 3 years. Kaupapa designed by us, for us, and with us. $110 million in new funding for whānau ora in the last 3 years, which means thousands more whānau get access to the support that they need. I'd like to also acknowledge the work that is being done by whānau with the support of our kaiarahi, our navigators and our providers and our commissioning agencies. You know, I'm often asked, Shane, do you miss being on TV? The answer is no. Because while broadcasters, responsible broadcasters, they have an important role to play in our communities, there is an even bigger role carried out by those that are at the coalface working with our whānau every day to help them address their needs and challenges. Now, you may have seen him earlier, and I do want to acknowledge him, John Tamihere, for giving me the opportunity to be part of the whānau ora journey at Te Paumatakana and Te Whānau Waipareira. John, love him or loathe him, he challenges the status quo and he reminds us all the time that whānau must always come first. So $110 million in new funding for whānau ora in the last 3 years, which is a lot of money. It's not crumbs, that's a lot of money. But actually, it is only a drop in the bucket when you look at the $25 billion for social development or the $16 billion for health. Our challenge going forward is to get that resource, give it to those that know what they're doing, and get it out to those most in need. Over the last 9 years, the Māori Party has got more than $2 billion in gains, and that's significant. But do you know what? It's not just about pūtea. But I tell you what, the bird doesn't get very far without it. The Māori Party stopped what had the potential to unravel and unbundle treaty settlements across the country by saying taihua to the Kermadec Marine Reserve. The Māori Party have secured the rights of hapu and iwi to be engaged on all resource management issues, and we got rid of the GM veto rights of the Minister. The Māori Party is driving the most significant change to Māori land law in 20 years. And you know what? Those reforms will address the unfair and racist laws towards Māori land. It will make it harder to sell Māori land. It will make it easier for landowners to use their land, and most importantly, it recognises the mana motuhake and tino rangatiratanga of landowners over their land. But wait, there's more. The Māori Party has fought hard for the right for tamariki to be placed in the care of their whānau hapu and iwi, as espoused by Pūao Te Atatū under the new Oranga Tamariki legislation. And do you know what? I could go on because the list is long. But in the risk of sounding like my whanaunga from Ngāti Porou, I will leave it there. You know, we've achieved all of this because of 2 MPs, a small support team in Parliament and outside Parliament, and with your support. I think we should absolutely be proud of our achievements. You know what? The national government, they don't need the Māori Party. In the last 3 years, it only needed our votes on 2 pieces of legislation. So they haven't needed us, but still, as a result of our relationship with them, we've been able to advance and resource our kaupapa Māori. That's why I have one message for those who attack us for sitting at the table with the Nats. We can either sit outside and throw stones like Labour and achieve absolutely nothing, kore, as Te Roro said earlier. Or we can sit inside the tent, influence policy and budget decisions, hold them to account, and then one day take over the tent. And do you know what? Until that day, we will continue to hold them to account, which is exactly what I intend to do for the whānau living here in Ōrākei, out at Manurewa, Māngere, and right across Tāmaki Makaurau. How many times have you heard politicians say that they're in Parliament to defend the rights of their constituency and then turn around and toe the party line? Don't get me wrong, I'm a team player. But what sets the Māori Party apart from all of the rest is that we recognise and uphold the mana of our people, of our electorates. It was the people that built this party, and it will always be the people that lead this party. And that is why I went back to the whānau of Tāmaki Makaurau to see what their key election issues are. They told me over and over again that our focus must be on solutions that secure our futures. They told me that their priorities are whare, whaimahi and whakapapa. Let me begin with whare. Māori home ownership has been on the decline for the last 30 years. It started in the mid-1980s under a what? A Labour government. Many of you will remember Rogernomics. Many of you will remember when Labour policies cost thousands of places, jobs, Māori jobs, in the freezing works, the railways, and all those government-run jobs. By 1992, under a national government, Māori unemployment soared to 25%, 1 in 4 Māori jobless. And do you know what? We're still feeling the effects of all of that today. There is a housing crisis in Tāmaki Makaurau, and the government's response unfortunately, is too little and too late. We know that whānau are living in cars. How can that be when the government is spending millions of dollars on emergency housing and thousands of dollars a week on motel rooms? Something is wrong, the plan is flawed, but you know what? We can fix it. Give the resource to those that know how to look after our people. Give it to the communities from which these whānau belong. Give it to those that have a proven track record of working with our whānau. Why would you give it to the organisations that have made a living off our suffering and misery? Whānau must have access to affordable, safe and warm homes. A kāinga ora is a whānau ora. A well home is a well family. Just before I move on, I'd like to touch on Ngāti Pāua and Point England. We're talking about a 45-hectare piece of land. For the past 30 years, 18 hectares of that land has been used to feed cows. Ngāti Pāua want their ancestral land back. They want 12 of those hectares to provide social housing for their whānau. They want to build themselves a marae. The Māori Party supports iwi and communities to achieve their aspirations, and that's why we back the legislation. Unlike Labour that opposes the bill, and unlike the Greens that sit on the fence, Ngāti Pāua, my message to you is we back you. While whānau will always be my number one priority, we must also give equal support to rangatahi. 1 in 2 Māori living in Tāmaki Makaurau are under the age of 25. 1 in 4 of those rangatahi don't have a job, aren't in school, or in any form of training. In South Auckland alone, that equates to 7,500 rangatahi. That's why I'm proud of the $12 million package, Taiohi Ararau, that was announced earlier this week. It will ensure that rangatahi get access to the basic necessities they need in life, such as a bank account, IRD number, passport and a driver's licence. Because we know that one of the biggest obstacles to rangatahi getting a job these days is not having a driver's licence. But it's not just about the licence itself. A licence is a step towards independence. Through defensive driving courses, you're taught about risk and responsibility. It gives you a sense of purpose. Rangatahi need guidance, they need support, they need to know what's right and wrong, they need a listening ear, and they need leadership. Let me tell you about this young, talented, up and rising star, a scholar and leader of Hato Paora, destined for great things. A loved and cherished mokopuna. His name was Taurima. He was 15 years old when he took his life 3 years ago. The son of my cousin, Hiramutu. 1 in 3 of rangatahi suicide are Māori. It's even worse in Tāmaki Makaurau. These are the reasons why whakamomori will always be a key focus of mine, and why I'm pleased the Māori Party secured more resource and support for oranga rangatahi. While that pūtea will go a long way, it's not enough, and we need to make this a priority for the government going forward. You know, it will come as no surprise to you that I'm a staunch advocate of te reo Māori. I'm not a Nazi or a mongoose. I'm not a zealot. But I love te reo. It's the window to our culture and the door to our identity. It is the essence of who we are as Māori and who I am as a mokopuna of Rongo Mai Wahine e Ngāti Kahungunu. That is why it is one of our 3 pou for this election campaign. 84% of Māori living here in Tāmaki Makaurau are from iwi outside of Auckland. It's important that we support them to stay connected or reconnect with their whakapapa. We know that our language is in a dire state. The latest census told us that there was a drop in the number of reo speakers. And the only way that we're going to save our language is by speaking it. Kōrero tia te reo i ngā wāhi katoa, i ngā wā katoa, kaua e waiho ki te marae anake. Tērā no te kōrero a te whare huia, whakahokia mai te reo, mai te mata o te pene, ki te mata o te arero. And that means supporting whānau in their homes and in communities to use the reo, from grandparents to their mokapuna and parents to their tamariki. The Māori Party has secured almost $60 million in the last 4 years to revitalise our language through a range of kaupapa, like kura whakarauora, like kura reo, like te mātāwai. Kei o tātou whānau te oranga o te reo, o tātou kāinga, o tātou pakeke, a tātou tamariki mokopuna, no reira, kei a tātou katoa. I just want to again acknowledge Tāpita and Rangi. As Reikura alluded to earlier, it was important for me that I had both of their support. They are Tāmaki Makaurau heroes. We saw that today at Manurewa Market. Everyone we came across, they all know Rangi. And I thought I was on TV. Behind the scenes, we have a strong and dedicated campaign team, led by the almighty Veronica Henare, and second in command, Tāmati Taurere, and I want to thank the whole team for your commitment and dedication. We have a winning team and a winning plan. We intend to engage with all 34,000 Tāmaki Makaurau voters over the next 4 months. But to do this, we need your support. We need as many soldiers as possible to knock on doors, make phone calls, hold hui, run markets and whatever else it takes. Our mission is to convince Tāmaki Makaurau voters that there is no other option. Like Ngāti Whātua and the thousands of whānau that are better off today because of whānau ora, the only way we're going to secure our futures is by doing it for ourselves. We need to remind voters mainstream policies, mainstream agencies, and especially mainstream political parties do not work for us, have failed for us, and are no good for us. We say hand over what's rightfully ours and allow us to take care of ourselves and chart our futures. We will no longer be the passengers on the bus. We will drive the bus. And that is why on the 23rd of September, you must make it Māori. You know, it was mentioned earlier about Labour. Well, I did used to think Labour was the best party for Māori. Like Whaiatariana, I soon realised that Labour will throw you under the bus if it thinks it will cost them votes. And that's what happened in 2004, and that's what still happens today. Everything I've seen in Wellington makes me realise that neither Labour or National will do anything for Māori unless we Māori fight for it. The only party that is staunch in support of Māori every day, regardless of popularity, is the Māori Party. And do you know what's sad? Labour refuses to work with us. And actually, they want to get rid of us. The only Indigenous designed and led political party in Parliament. Māori gave Labour 6 seats at the last election. What did they get in return? Kore. Well, actually, they did get something. No Māori in the top 15 on their party list. And you know, this is not a whakaiti or whakahe. You know, I actually feel sorry for Willie, Calvin and Penny, rangatira in their own right, that support kaupapa Māori, but can't do it openly because they have to toe the party line. Now, you've all heard about the festive season. Well, we're entering the silly season because we're going to be told how mad, bad and sad we are, and that politicians know what's good for us. You see, we don't do that here, and that's what makes us different from all of the rest. We say, what do you want? What would you like? And how can we help? We say, what are your goals and aspirations, and how can we support you? And do you know what? Who better to do it than your own? Yes, we've all got friends and whānau that support other parties. Parties that support you when the sun is shining, but when you really need help, they kick you in the guts. Mark my words, they've done it to us time and time again, and if you give them another chance, they'll do it again. As we look to Matariki in the beginning of the new Māori year, we must lift our vision skywards. This is a time, yes, for us to remember those who have passed away and celebrate who we are and what we have achieved. But let us pause for only a brief moment, because there is so much work to do. We will be attacked from the left, we will be attacked from the right, but you know what? We must keep moving forward. As the stars of Matariki enter our horizon, we must be ready. We must be ready. My question to you, whānau, are we ready? Are we ready? Yes. I can't hear you. Are we ready? Yes. Of course we're ready, because we were born ready. And we owe it to our tamariki, we owe it to our mokopuna, we owe it to our future generations, and we owe it to whānau. So whānau, repeat after me. Make it Māori. Make it Māori. Oh, where? I know it's been a long afternoon, but you know. Make it Māori. Make it Māori. Make it happen. Make it happen. Make it Shane Taurima. Make it Shane Taurima. And make it count.